Yes, yes, and yes. Yes is the answer. Yes is always the answer. Actually, the answer is always what we want to hear because we're going to hear what we want to hear, regardless of what someone else says. But someone asked, do you have any tips or help for finding therapists for those that can't afford your one-to-one sessions? Super helpful video. Thank you. And this was in response to a video that I had done that explained cptsd, which I say is complex PTSD, chaotic PTSD, confusing PTSD, because it's not a singular event. Nothing is a singular event. We can have singular events, but the events that most significantly impact us emotionally, subconsciously, are compounded events. The C could also stand for compounded. So understand that first and foremost. And yes, yes, find someone who gets you the fastest, most incredible results. Because when you've lived with this type of emotional abuse, neglect, avoidance for this long, you've lived with it for long enough that you want to get out of it. You want to get back to your life, to the truth of who you really are, to the alignment of who you really are. The core truth about you, without the attachment, without the connection to the unconscious beliefs that you currently have that are limiting you, that are preventing you from moving forward, that are causing you to feel or perceive that you feel stuck in particular unwanted, undesired emotions. And yes, the thing is, you are your greatest investment. And a lot of this is connected to so much more than what's on the surface. Searching. I want a therapist who specializes in trauma. I want a therapist who specializes in this particular type of thing. You want to be with someone who really can, A, that you align with, first and foremost. There are so many different modalities, models, techniques out there, things that you can do. And it depends on who you ask. Some people are going to say, oh, that doesn't work. And this does. You need to go do this. And the other people will say, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. You need to go do this. It works for me. So, a connection with yourself, a deep connection with yourself, and understanding this. So, my response was yes. First and foremost, connect with someone or something that deeply resonates with your innermost desires. I deeply resonated with the particular modalities of internal unconscious transformation that I now walk my very own clients through because they worked for me, because they were fast, they were rapid, they were effective, they truly were transformational, and it did not take a long time. I realized I wasn't going to have a lot of time left if I stayed in the mental and emotional state that I was in, because I was about to peace out, if you know what I mean. I was not in a very healthy place, and I needed something that worked rapidly. I needed something that got results quickly and ended up being a fast, effective investment, not something that I had to see someone and rehash and reopen the room with the wound and talk about time and time again and go back every week and go, oh, so what's going on this week? Like, same old shit. That's why I'm here. Are we ever going to get rid of this? Are we ever going to get through this? I'm looking for a breakthrough and I'm looking for it today, if you know what I mean. And there's a lot around that, but it just depends. Are you someone who just wants to go talk to someone to experience being validated that what you went through was painful? There are people for that. Are you someone who wants to deeply connect with your internal unconscious beliefs because you realize you already know the story of what they're connected to, so you don't want to talk to someone about the story that they're connected to? You desire an incredible breakthrough. You desire emotional freedom. You desire to experience that. And then all the other stuff you can do on your own, the emotional intelligence work, like the books that you've read. You want to open up the space within you to allow all of that to integrate within you. Then there's a method for that. There's so many different things. So the response was, find someone or something that deeply resonates with your innermost desires. Connect with them. This is a connection. This is a relationship, and there are methods and there are modalities, and a lot of people will say a lot of things about them. Are they going to be true for you? Only you can know that, because only you know what your desires are. If you're just looking for validation or if you're looking for breakthrough, and there's a very different frequency and energy connected to that. And there are different practitioners who provide that. So remember, you are your greatest investment. Specifically and particularly when I was at that point, at that stage in my life, I wanted I wanted freedom and I wanted it now. And using the power of my own internal mind and connecting with people who got me to the core and the root of my personal internal unconscious beliefs, who got me through and guided me into my own personal breakthrough, because it was my own and personal interpretation, internalization, and connection. It wasn't them giving me advice and telling me, okay, leave and go try this for a week and then come back and then we'll talk about how it didn't work for you and how this is so frustrating. It was my own unconscious mind guiding me, navigating, and directing me where I needed to go to give me what I needed, to allow me to receive what I needed to receive, to provide for me my own personal, internal, unconscious breakthrough and connection. For me, I was like, I will pay anything. And I did. I paid a lot. I paid a lot of money, but it didn't seem like I paid a lot of money because the value was so vast. The value was so great. The value was so expansive. And now I get to guide people in doing the same thing. So it's really not about, can I afford your services? It's how are you perceiving the value of the outcome you'll receive? And for me, it was my life. If this doesn't work, like, I'm done. I don't care to continue to try to make it work. I was at that point, I was on the edge. And so for me, the investment, the financial number, really didn't matter. It was the investment in myself. It was the investment in the transformation of my life. It wasn't about, how can I find the cheapest person to work with? Oh, this person is covered under insurance and they're $50. And they have a new client special, $25 off 30 minutes. For me, it was like, I don't care. I was at the point of not caring so much, and I was already in financial debt. And it was like, you know what? What's more debt? Debt is an investment. And a lot of times it's a shift and a perspective around investment and money work. I realized after the personal work, I had money work to do. And all of that was connected and woven and a part of the very same story that I was rewriting. So remember, you are your greatest investment. Your investment in your life, in your health, in the transformation and the removal of constricting, negative, limiting, internal, unconscious beliefs that you have developed about yourselves that are projecting and playing out as stories in your own personal life, that's your greatest investment. It really is. So I encourage and inspire you to take away whatever the number is and look at the value of what it is. Look at the investment. Look at the benefits that your life will receive. Look at the value of your relationships and how they'll transform and how they'll change and how they will become the relationships you've always dreamed of, always hoped for, always desired to experience. That is actually what you're investing in. And then time plays a part in it as well. I wanted it now. I was done now. I wanted it yesterday. I was like, if this doesn't happen today, then there may not be another day. Like there may not be there may not be a tomorrow. I was in that place personally, and I can't speak for anybody else in the place that they're at, because that is a personal understanding, that is a personal perception, that is a personal connection. Where we're currently at and where we desire to go, it is personal and it is specific for all of us, and that is part of the value and part of the investment. But you are your greatest investment. And so if there's people like this person who are watching videos, that was me as well years and years ago. I could afford very little. So I invested in what I could. And at that time, it was free videos, it was free content. And that's part of the reason why I share so many free videos and so much free content, because that was me too, until I was ready to pull the trigger on investing in the value and quality of my life, regardless of what it cost. I was at a point where I didn't care. So why would I care that I didn't care? What's another however many, at that time, thousands of dollars, but it was so worth it. So worth it. And I realize that now. And there's no longer a connection to trying to find the cheapest thing. It's like saying that you want a Michelangelo type sculpture, but you're asking a kindergarten who barely knows how to hold a crayon to get the same horse. You know what I mean? And there's value in that. So just let that land where it will. Notice the limiting beliefs, notice the limiting stories that are coming up when you're feeling the feeling of the things that are hurting you. There's so much work you can do on your own, but there is a place where we get to where we can't get past on our own. So while you're with yourself, understanding you're not alone, you're with yourself, while you're with yourself, really investing in yourself. And the greatest investment we have is time, investing time in yourself to sit with, write out, notice, contemplate, say out loud, speak to someone you trust about the limiting stories and tell them, hey, I just want you to hear me. I don't want you to try to fix me or change me. I don't want your advice. I'm going to reject it anyway, most likely, because I'm in a space where I just need to process. Can you guide me through processing this? And notice the limiting beliefs. Hear the story. Get them out of here and onto here. Write them onto paper. Write them, as a note section in your phone. And then really sit with them, the feelings and the stories that are hurting you. Feel it. Admit it. So many of us deny it. Oh, that doesn't bother me. No, that's not how I feel. Or we don't even know how we feel. We feel sad. We feel hopeless. We feel helpless. We feel depressed. We feel anxious. Or we just go, meh, I don't really know how I feel. How are you? I'm good. And we're not really connecting with the true feelings. So really connect with the true feelings, the real emotions. We go into this inside Transforming Past Pain to Present Power. It's a program, it's self-guided. You take yourself through it. There are rapid transformational therapy sessions through it. It's absolutely amazing. It is profound. It is life-changing. It is incredible. And it's an investment of just, I think right now it's $1,111. So an incredible investment. And the value is just out of this world. So that's something you can look into too if you feel aligned to it. But feel it, say it, admit what you're going through, get out of the denial stage. And it takes you through understanding the shades of gray instead of the black and white thinking, the all or nothing thinking, or the overgeneralization. We go through all of this in the untwist your thinking exercises that we do throughout. So admit it, feel it, say it, whatever it is that you're going through, like own it. Take ownership of it, claim it, because every time you own and you claim, you regain your truth, your power. Instead of saying, well, I feel this way because, and there's a connection to a story of your power being taken away and someone else being able to limit you, constrict you, and impact you. You own it, you claim it. There's reclamation, there's power in the transformation of reclamation. So saying this, and do this without any blame or making it anyone else's fault. And this is where a lot of people get stuck when they're doing this work on their own. They can do it, but they do it in the name of blame. They do it in the name of having to blame someone for their pain and making it someone else's fault. Whoever's fault you're making it, you're giving your power to them. So this is really the embodiment of reclamation work, of transformational work. So there's so much value. I cannot emphasize the value of transforming your internal unconscious beliefs enough. They are literally life-changing, life-saving, and transformational. That's why I'm so passionate about it. And it is the greatest investment you can make in yourself because it is the 95% of what navigates, dictates, and directs your life. There is not a greater investment, in my opinion. And that is my opinion. We're all entitled to have our own. So do this without making it anyone else's fault or without blaming anyone and extract the lessons. Own the lessons, take ownership, remove the lesson from the story, from the event. Take the lessons, carry those with you, and leave the rest. And I guess this is easier said than done in this video because we're not doing the work, we're just talking about it. But connect with the story and identity of who you'll become once you're through the thing that you can't see how you'll get through. You've already made it through the worst days of your life. You're here, you're listening, you're connecting to this. All the worst things that ever happened to you are already in your past. And I understand that that's easy to say because logically it's true, but you're an emotional being. You have feelings, you have emotions, and every feeling and emotion has an energy, it has a frequency, it has a potency, it has a vibrancy. And those are the things from the past that are currently impacting you. And those are the things that you may see I can never get through in my future. So what do I do today? Because I'm ready to get through that. I'm ready for the breakthrough. I'm ready for the transformation. I'm ready for the reclamation. And you may find that you're ready, but you may find that the story of money and investment and value is stopping and blocking you. And that, for me, for a long time, is what made me feel like I'm never going to get through this. It's always going to be this way. And that's what had me connected and attached to that very hurtful, harmful, limiting, and negative story. And once you do this reclamation, transformational work, especially when you're working with your internal unconscious beliefs, you see, oh my God, I would have paid triple for that. I cannot tell you the number of people who are like, dude, I would have paid so much more for that. I'm glad you didn't charge that much more, but I would have. And I see the value of that now because it's an experience, it's an investment, and there's incredible, immense value in the transformation and the reclamation of your personal power, of the ability to grab the pen and rewrite the story, understanding that the story is written based upon the internal unconscious beliefs you have about yourself. That's what dictates the words that go on the paper. You can close the chapter, you can end a chapter, and you can begin a new one with you as the hero, as the main character who gets to break through and gets to transform through and grow through and move through in ways that other characters in your story said you never could because they didn't believe that they could and they were jealous that they see that you are doing the thing. You know what I mean? So uh, a lot of, I mean, it's all of it, and it's all of this, and it's so much more. It really, really is. And all the clients I've had the beauty, the honor, and the privilege of working with over the years have got to experience this because it's an experiential process and a transformation of reclamation. So it is through the power of your internal unconscious beliefs. So whoever it is that you're looking to connect with, to work through, make sure that you align with them, make sure that you vibe with them, make sure that the juju's right, that that they're not only saying it, but they're living it. And so just resonate with them, connect with them. You'll feel it. You'll feel it. You'll feel it in the places that it matters most. You'll feel it in your heart. You'll feel it in your gut. You'll get that internal nudge of like, yes, let's go. This is the way. This is the key. This is the answer. Go. And it's natural to experience resistance to things that you know are going to provide you the breakthrough that you deserve and desire, because that's where those limiting unconscious beliefs come in. Oh no, what if you get through this? Then what? And there's that fear that comes up of the unknown. Who would I be? What would they say? What are they going to say about me? Am I going to fit in with them? Am I going to lose all my friends? And it's breaking through, and it literally is rewriting the story. That's why my company is called Rewrite Your Life, because everything gets rewritten. Every relationship you have, beginning with the one you have with yourself. That is the most important, the most critical one that you have. So make it the one that you invest the most in. Okay. I hope this helps you. And thank you for asking that question. I know that the contemplation and the response to this is going to help so many people. So I love you guys. I'll see you soon. When you're ready to connect, just click on the links in the description below. Bye for now.